so much. Good afternoon. I note that the hour has come. Mr. Byrd, will you please call the roll to take attendance? Members that are in attendance will please indicate that you are present when your name is called.
Chair Phillips.
Present.
Vice Chair Bass. Present. Councilmember Landau. Present. Councilmember Jones. Present. Councilmember Young. And Councilmember Thomas.
Present. Thank you. A quorum of the committee is present and the hearing is now called to order. This is the public hearing of the Committee of Parks and Recreation and Cultural Affairs regarding bills number 260430, 260424, and resolution number 260346, which was previously recessed on May 11th. Clerk, will you please read the titles of the legislation?
Bill number 260430, authorizing the Commissioner of Parks and Recreation on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to enter into a multi-year lease agreement with the Fairmount Park Conservancy for portions of Franklin Delano Roosevelt Park for use, operation, management, maintenance, and repair under certain terms and conditions. Bill number 260424, establishing temporary parking regulations and enforcement and residential guest parking permits within the specified area bounded by North 21st Street, Master Street, North 25th Street, Cecil B. Moore Avenue, North 33rd Street, and surrounding corridors under certain terms and conditions. Resolution number 260346, authorizing Council's Committee on Parks and Recreation and Cultural Affairs to hold public hearings for applicants seeking nomination to serve on the Commission on Parks and Recreation, and further authorizing the committee to recommend for Council's consideration nominations to be forwarded to the Mayor.
Mr. Byrd, will you please call the first panel we have to testify on bill number 260430? Please approach your witness stand once you call the panel. Mr. Byrd, call the panelists.
We don't have any. Panel 1, Susan Slawson, Commissioner of the Department of Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Commissioner, for approaching the witness table. Please state your name for the record, and please proceed with your testimony.
Good afternoon, Chairman Phillips, Vice Chair Bass, and members of the Committee on Parks and Recreation, Cultural Affairs. My name is Susan Slawson, and I'm Commissioner of Philadelphia Parks and Recreation. I'm here today with Robert Allen, Director of Property and Concessions Management for Parks and Recreation. And I'm here to testify in support of City Council Bill number 260430, an ordinance authorizing a 26-year lease agreement with the Fairmount Park Conservancy for the management, operation, and maintenance of the FDR Park Welcome Center, Anna C. Verna Playground, and Gateway Plaza. The Fairmount Park Conservancy is a nonprofit corporation organized and operating for the sole purpose of advancing and supporting the city's park system. The Conservancy has a strong connection to FDR Park, having served as project lead for the creation of a master plan to transform FDR Park into a centerpiece of recreation, ecological art, and design. In 2022, the Conservancy served as the project manager for the construction, renovation, and restoration of the 3 spaces within FDR Park that comprise the leased premises. The Welcome Center is the anchor of FDR Park, and it sits between the Gateway and the Anna C. Verna Playground. The Welcome Center serves as a hub for all park-related activities and includes a new visitor center, offices for park staff, facilities for 3 food and beverage operators, and community spaces for public and private events. The playground is a very popular 2-acre, all-ages inclusive playground that features a 26 swing structure and custom-designed birdhouse structures with slides and climbing areas. The Gateway Plaza is designed to be the front door of FDR Park, facing the Stadium District and several public transit stops. It serves as a meeting point and entryway for park visitors. Parks and Recreation determined that to ensure the premises is preserved for future generations and maintained at the very highest level, it would be desirable to transfer management of the 3 spaces to an organization that can fundraise for their ongoing maintenance and return the spaces to active use by the public. Parks and Recreation believes that the Conservancy is uniquely prepared and equipped to manage, operate, and maintain these spaces due to its close connection with FDR Park and ongoing FDR Park project management. Parks and Recreation is in discussions with the Fairmount Park Conservancy to finalize a proposed lease agreement with the Conservancy with a term of up to 26 years. The requested term is commensurate with the Conservancy's $5.3 million contribution to the Welcome Center's total project. It will enable the Conservancy to enter into a long-term agreements with a concessionaire or concessionaires in support of the level of capital investment and concessionaires will be required to make to fit out the concession spaces. The term also enables Parks and Recreation and the Conservancy to plan for the level of capital investment required for future capital replacements and repairs. Additional key provisions of the agreement include the Conservancy will maintain, program, and operate the premises for the benefit of the public. The Conservancy, with Parks and Recreation's participation, will solicit a concessionaire or concessionaires through an RFP process to operate catered events and food and beverage concessions at the Welcome Center. All concession fee income will be used to fund the operations and maintenance of the Welcome Center, the playground, and the gateway, and to be agreed upon administrative fee to the Conservancy. At an agreed-upon administrative fee to the Conservancy. The Welcome Center will be operated as a public facility, providing visitor information, space for park visitors to rest and buy food and beverages, and free meeting space for community organizations on a first-come, first-served basis. The Conservancy will develop a capital replacement schedule for replacement of all major capital items on the premise over the full duration of the lease. On or before the 3rd anniversary of the lease, the Conservancy will establish a capital reserve account to which funds will be deposited annually in accordance with the requirements of the capital replacement schedule. The lease does not obligate the city to appropriate or spend money at any time during the term of the lease. The Fairmount Park Conservancy has been a valued partner of Parks and Recreation for 28 years. We are confident in its ability to provide the highest level of service to the public at the FDR Park Welcome Center complex. We support this legislation and respectfully ask that City Council approve Bill number 260430. I'm also requesting a suspension of the rules so as to allow for first reading at the next session of City Council. Finally, I would like to thank the bill's sponsor, Council President Kenyatta Johnson, for his ongoing support of FDR Park, and I'm glad to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Commissioner. Can you please state your name for the record? Do you have any, you have a testimony? You're good.
No direct testimony, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm Bob Allen, Director of Property and Concessions
All
Management.
right, thank you, Bob. Are there any questions from members of the committee? The chair recognizes Vice Chair Bass.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your testimony. It sounds like an exciting project, and I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about minority participation as to how it will relate in the construction and then the operation of the site.
Thank you for that question. We have had extensive conversations with staff, with the Conservancy, to ensure that community can, we're taking actually a page from your insistence on the horticultural center, ensuring that we have opportunities for just regular people that don't make millions of dollars to come in and use the facility. We've built in specific days that are not those key days, but there will be days set aside, 10 to 12 days every year, where you can come in and you don't have to use the concessionaire that's actually housed inside the facility. That's one of the things that happened as a result of you ensuring that if you're going to use a Hort Center, everybody needs to be able to use it. So we are putting those in place before we even sign a contract to make sure that every day, this is for community. It's not just for those that are financially capable of coming in and paying $100 for a plate. So we have definitely built that into the lease, and we are still having conversations to ensure that we can open our doors to anyone.
Well, thank you so much, and that means a lot. We had the conversation, and we had it with the previous administration, about the need for these facilities to really be able to be open and accessible for everyone. And some of the concessionaires that, are really good vendors, but also they come at a price point that a lot of Philadelphians really just can't connect to these facilities. So I'm glad to hear that there will be opportunities for folks to bring in their own, something that they can afford. So.
Yes, they can bring in they're going to be time set. They can bring in their own caterers. Our goal is to ensure that it's inclusive.
Yes.
And that has to be done on the front end, not the back end, and that's what we're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from members of the committee? The chair recognizes Councilmember Curtis Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this hearing. Thank you, Commissioner Slawson, and your team for being all about parks and recs. For the piece with the FDR, I want to recognize the fact that we have a strip of park that we are looking forward to involvement in, and that is on Parkside Avenue from the fountain that they are restoring. And there's a project to restore these Gothic historic fountains in my district to kind of increasing the available play space throughout. Can you talk a little bit about that?
And so there is, and that's one of those partnerships with the Fairmount Park Conservancy that they've been able to raise over $5 million to ensure that that fountain is restored. It is in the Centennial District, which is an iconic area. It's right in front of Memorial Hall, and it's been out for some time. And so the Conservancy has worked with the William Penn Foundation. They've raised separate monies to ensure that we will have this fountain up and running, not just up and running, but restored 100%.
The second thing that I would like you to speak to, which is one of Member Bass's issues, is the concessions. There's a concession at Belmont Plateau that used to be vibrant. It has been closed, I don't know how long. But are there any plans to bring it back? Imagine that concession selling hot dogs and hamburgers at the Roots picnic. They may have made enough money for the whole year. So is there any plans for that particular, because I know it's in bad shape, but.
Councilmember Jones, that is a really good question. Right now, there are no plans, but I think that's something, as I sit here and talk about the partnership, and they are a fundraising tool for Parks and Recreation, that is a conversation that we can begin to have with the Conservancy and begin to look at funding and ideas of how we can bring that back to life.
So you might want to consider a rate that says only at plateau events should this place be open, or you could do it year-round. We have track and field, cross-country competitions out there on Saturdays and Sundays. So there is an opportunity for them to make some change. So if you would look at that, and please tell us what it would cost to bring it up to speed, to make it safe, and to open it back up. And there might be some consideration of capital budget that might be lended towards that effort.
That would be wonderful, and maybe we could talk about a design initially, and we could discuss what that would cost, so we could come up with some actual numbers or what it would cost to restore and to repair that concession area, because it is a beautiful place, and you get to see the entire city from at the plateau.
Yep.
And there's good reason to have that restored. So we can definitely have that conversation with them as well as with you to talk about this.
Appreciate you.
Thank
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilman Jones. Any other questions from the committee? Great questions from Councilman Curtis Jones and Councilwoman Cindy Bass. And thank you so much for this incredible new amenity. Hopefully all of our parks can get something similar to this at some point. Thanks, Commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Mr. Byrd, will you please call the next panel?
Kevin Roche, Chief of Staff, Fairmount Park Conservancy.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Can you please state your name for the record and proceed with your testimony?
My name is Kevin Roche. First of all, thank you to the committee Chair, Councilmember Phillips, Vice Chair, Councilmember Bass, and members of the committee for the opportunity to testify today. My name is Kevin Roche. I'm Chief of Staff for Fairmount Park Conservancy. On behalf of the Conservancy, I'm testifying in support of the ordinance to authorize a lease agreement for the the FDR Park Welcome Center and vicinity. Fairmount Park Conservancy is proud to be the City of Philadelphia's partner in implementing the FDR Park Plan. Released in 2019, the Park Plan is a long-term historic investment to ensure that this signature Philadelphia park is accessible and welcoming to 21st century park users and prepared for the immediate and long-term challenges of a changing climate. In 2025, the Conservancy completed the construction of the FDR Park Welcome Center. This space is a $12 million adaptive reuse of the former park guardhouse that was built in 1919 and the horse stables. It's made possible through a public-private partnership between the city and the Conservancy. The project preserved the building's historic character while also re-envisioning it to set a new standard for Philadelphia park operations and visitor experiences. The new Welcome Center is LEED Gold certified and features public restrooms, an open-air courtyard with food and beverage concession spaces, a public terrace overlooking the Pattison Lagoon, a large meeting and event space, offices for park staff and program partners, and space for visitor information center and a cafe. The Welcome Center's 4 distinct spaces, the public terrace, courtyard, event space, and park offices, are designed with public access as the highest priority. They're equipped to function independently, and access to public-facing amenities and operational spaces will not be affected by private meetings and events. The Welcome Center is designed to meet community needs and address park user concerns identified during the 18-month park planning period. In a robust community engagement process, the project team spoke to over 3,000 community members and stakeholders through surveys, paid park ambassadors, stakeholder interviews, community meetings, and community design workshops. The community engagement process and site assessments highlighted the need for basic amenities in the park that a Welcome Center could provide, such as restrooms, seating, water fountains, and food and drink opportunities that would make longer visits to the park possible. Food and beverages were among the top 10 most requested program elements for the park's redesign. In addition, the planning process identified an absence of centralized park information, leaving room for improvement to create a coherent park user experience that maximizes the diverse amenities across 348 acres and a full calendar of events, activities, and programming. The completed Welcome Center is designed and equipped to achieve all of these needs and is well positioned at the park's main gateway to set the tone for the entire park experience. Since the unveiling of the FDR Park Plan in 2019, the Conservancy has continued to engage with the park user community through hands-on workshops, public meetings, stakeholder interviews, surveys, virtual open houses, in-person tours, public programs, and volunteer days. The Conservancy is committed to ensuring that the completed capital projects in FDR Park, the Gateway Plaza, the Anna C. Verna Playground, and the Welcome Center are maintained and operated to the maximum public benefit. The Conservancy now seeks a long-term lease for the Welcome Center to fulfill the design functions of for the facility. Our vision for the Welcome Center is that it is a staffed, well-maintained, accessible, and welcoming to all park users. We want to ensure that the Welcome Center provides information, amenities, and free and low-cost events to enhance park user experiences. This will include selling food and beverage options at an inclusive range of price points and offering an event and meeting space. As Philadelphia Parks and Recreation's nonprofit partner, the Conservancy has designed the proposed retail amenities and event space rental program to serve the public and generate revenue that will cover the cost of operating the entire Welcome Center at a high level of guest experience and provide funding for enhanced park maintenance and operations to benefit all park users. Concessions offered by Philadelphia businesses will have the added benefit of generating positive economic impact through local contracts and job opportunities. We're grateful to be in conversation with Philadelphia Parks and Rec about the future of the Park's Gateway, including the Plaza, Playground, and Welcome Center. We believe a public-private partnership at the Welcome Center, guided by the community-informed park plan, represents an exciting opportunity to fulfill requests from park users and stakeholders and provide excellent park conditions and experiences. Thank you to the committee for your leadership and commitment to our city's public spaces and for your consideration of this bill.
Thank you so much for your testimony, Kevin. Are there any questions from members of the committee?
Can I ask a quick question?
The chair recognizes Councilmember Rue Landau.
Thank you so much for coming to testify for us today. I think this Welcome Center is going to be very great addition to FDR Park. One of the things I love the most about FDR is how diverse the people are who use it. Will the Welcome Center have signs and information translated into many languages? And are you keeping this in mind when you are looking at who would be available for food concessions and types of foods and stuff?
Yeah, great question. Certainly, we want to design all elements of the user experience to reach a multitude of users. We're very aware of the range of user groups that operate in the park and depend on information. So while we're still in the process of negotiating the lease with Philadelphia Parks and Rec, we certainly intend to have information communicated in a number of languages to communicate to the park user group. So information that will be available at the Welcome Center, upcoming events, things of that nature, our park programming would certainly want to include all those user groups.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. The chair recognizes Councilman Curtis Jones.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for being the deep-pocketed, philanthropic end of the commissioner's ability to support our parks. We truly appreciate what you're going to do in different sections other than FDR Park. I know our president represents that, but I just want you to know as a district council person, we appreciate what you do in the 4th District in conjunction with some of our institutions. Those fountains out there are going to be iconic, but when they're fully operational, iconic. That and the abstinence fountain a mile away is another fountain that we want to begin restoring. And imagine not having to have 52 weeks worth of shutting down the parkway and being able to pull some of that up into the western end of the park, which is concourse east and west. So your planning, your philanthropic fundraising is the reason we're looking optimistically at that, so thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, as mentioned, we're also very hard at work on the Welsh Fountain project and very excited at some recent funding from the state and are super excited to get started on that project to deliver or revitalize Welsh Fountain for the community there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much for your testimony again. Are there any other questions from members of the committee? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Byrd, will you call the next panel for this?
There are no more panels to call.
Okay, thank you. So that concludes testimony on bill number 240430. Okay, we will now move to bill number 260424. Mr. Byrd, will you please call the first panel to testify on bill number 260424?
Corrine O'Connor, Deputy Executive Director, Philadelphia Parking Authority, PPA.
Good afternoon. As already spoken, my name is Corinne O'Connor. I'm the Deputy Executive Director of the Philadelphia Parking Authority. I'm here to testify on bill number 260424, In preparation of FIFA's Fanfest being hosted in Lemon Hill from June 11th, 2026 till July 19th, 2026, this ordinance is presented to council to support surrounding community in this area. The City of Philadelphia plans on not only simulcasting all World Cup games, but also hosting a variety of events every day during this time frame for our Philadelphia residents and visitors to enjoy. Bill number 260424 is designed to minimize the impact on the parking needs of those living within the design boundaries of Council Bill 260424 in reference to residential permanent parking district number 17 and district 6. The virtual permits will be supplied to vehicles registered within these two zones, along with 2 physical day passes and no cost to the resident. Any vehicle not assigned a virtual pass or a physical visitor pass will be enforced. By making these temporary amendments to the traffic code, the authority believes that this will create a much smoother commute for the residents living in the Lemon Hill area during this very important time in Philadelphia history. We are therefore in support of this legislation. I'm happy to answer any questions from the committee.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Are there any questions from members of the committee? Yes. The chair recognizes Councilman Curtis Jones.
So we are so very excited. You can hear the sirens in the background about Lemon Hill and the experience that for 40 days, people will be able to come out, and I invite my colleagues to come out, have some lemonade on Lemon Hill with your councilman, to watch any of the games, these soccer matches from around the world. For 40 days, we are going to be watching and rooting for and I'm really scared about which team to root for because they take it very seriously. But the experience is juxtaposed with the impact of the community. Like in South Philadelphia, when they have a big event at one of the stadiums, the Phillies, the Eagles, the Flyers, the Sixers, that neighborhood is protected. That, red cups won't appear on their lawns. People won't be parking in their spots. And that plan is one that they just whip out and you have it prepared, correct?
Yes.
How is that compared to what we will experience on Lemon Hill?
So with Lemon Hill, being that it's a much larger map, it's about 400 blocks. We're going to have staff assigned to those areas every day. So depending on the event, some events are larger. As we know, some games will be more popular than
We're
others.
We're expecting 15,000
correct
per day.
And some days it could be 20,000. Then some days where there aren't any games and there's other activities going on, they expect maybe 5,000 to 10,000. So based on what the event is planned in Lemon Hill, then we'll have the staff in. So we've instituted a no vacation policy on a couple days with staff that are going to be needed to support all these programs, such as our park and enforcement officers and our tow truck operators. And they'll be assigned for that specific district to make sure they're out there patrolling, and that the residents, we also expanded it to include businesses will get a certain amount of passes. That way it doesn't affect people that are in there and they've been in there for years selling coffee or a hair salon, that they still get to operate and have their normal business.
So imagine, Mr. Chairman, Ogance Avenue Festival for 40 days. That's what we will be facing. So I'm thankful that there is a plan. I'm thankful to Commissioner Slawson, who will be briefing stakeholders in the community today and coming up with any tweaks that we might need to the plan. So thank you for your testimony. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much, Councilman. Yes, Ogance Avenue having a festival for 30 days would be a lot. So I don't think it would be manageable at all. So I understand your concern. All right, Mr. Byrd, thank you for your testimony. Any questions from members of the committee? Thank you. Seeing none, Mr. Byrd, will you please call the next panel?
There are no more panels to call.
Okay. That concludes testimony on bill number 240430. I'm sorry, That was 424. That concludes testimony on bill number 240424. We will now move to public comment. We ask that all speakers keep their comments to 60 seconds or less. Mr. Byrd, will you please read the names for the first seat registered for public comment? Is there anyone for public comment?
There are none to call.
Thank you. That concludes the public hearing on bills numbers 240430 and 24. Are there anyone in the rostrum for public comment? Okay. That concludes the public hearings on bills numbers 260430 and 240424 and resolution number 260346. There being no further questions from members of the committee and no other public witnesses to testify on bills numbers 260430, 260424, and resolution 260346, I will ask if there's anyone else present in the hearing whose name we have failed to call that wishes to offer testimony on the bills and resolutions being considered today. Hearing none, I want to thank the panels and witnesses for their participation today, and we value your opinions. I now invite all panels and witnesses to please disconnect from the hearing before. That concludes the public hearing on the committee. We will now go into a public meeting to consider the action to be taken on bills and resolutions before the committee today. We will now convene the public meeting. Clerk, will you please call the roll to take attendance? Members that are in attendance will please indicate that you are present when your name is called. Also, please say a few brief words when responding so that your image will be displayed on. Wow, this is the wrong one. My apologize. Clerk, will you please call the roll to take attendance? Members that are present, please indicate that you're present when your name is called.
Chair Phillips,
Present.
Vice Chair Bass,
Present.
Councilmember Landau, Councilmember Jones, Councilmember Young, Councilmember Thomas.
Thank you. We will now go into public meeting to consider the action be taken on bills and resolutions on today's agenda. The chair recognizes also the attendance of Councilmember Rue Landau. Thank you. The chair recognizes Councilmember Bass for a motion on bill number 260430. Vice Chair Bass.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that bill number 260430 be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and further move that the rules of council be suspended to permit first reading of this bill at the next session of council.
The chair notes that for the record that Councilmember Curtis Jones seconds the motion. It seconds the motion. It has been moved and properly seconded by that bill number 260430 be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and further move that the rules of council be suspended to permit first reading of this bill at the next session of council. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the motion carries. The chair now recognizes Vice Chair Bass for a motion on bill number 260424.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer an amendment to bill number 260424. A copy of the amendment has been circulated to all members of the committee, and I move that the amendment to bill number 260424 be approved.
Thank you. The chair notes for the record that Councilmember Isaiah Thomas and Councilman Jones second the motion. It has been moved and properly seconded that the amendment to bill number 260424 be approved. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the amendment to bill number 260424 has been approved. The chair recognizes Councilmember Vice Chair Bass for a motion on bill number 260424 as amended. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah.
Where's-
I moved that the bill
Oh, okay.
as amended.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that bill number 260424 as amended be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and further move that the rules of council be suspended to permit first reading of this bill at the next session of council.
Thank you. The chair notes for the record that Councilmember Vice Chair Bass Councilmember Jones seconds the motion. It has been moved and properly seconded that bill number 260424 as amended be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and further moved that the rules of council be suspended to permit first reading of this bill at the next session of council. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it, the motion carries. Thank you, Chair. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Thank you. The chair notes for the record that, sorry about that, 1 second. So can Councilmember Thomas, can you read this right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess there's another one. The chair recognizes Councilmember Thomas for a motion. So I think he must read this one.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move that bill number 260424 as amended be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and further move that the rules of council be suspended to permit the first reading of this bill at the next session of council.
Didn't we just do that?
We just do that. You know what? Thank you so much.
We just did that.
We did it already. Carry on. I don't know why I said it twice. My bad. Disregard, that was my error on Councilman Thomas. Don't worry about that. We're going to move forward. On May 11th, the committee met in executive session for the purpose of discussing the applications for the Commission on Parks and Recreation. The committee is now ready to vote on the nominations that we will submit to the full council for consideration. Before we proceed with the remainder of today's hearing, I would like to take a moment to recognize the strength of the applicant pool for the commission. This process brought forward a wide range of individuals from across the city who are deeply committed to our parks, recreation centers, and public spaces. The level of experience, passion, and community engagement demonstrated by the applicants has been truly impressive. The pool reflects a diverse cross-section of Philadelphia, and we are confident that the nominees selected today represent the skills, perspectives, and commitment necessary to help guide the future of parks and recreation in our city. It has been an honor for this committee to review these applications and hear directly from many of the candidates. At this time, I recognize Vice Chair Bass to announce the individuals selected by this committee to be recommended for nomination to the Commission on Parks and Recreation.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The list of applicants selected for nominations include Anthony Meadows, Dustin Dove, Elaine Smith Holton, Elizabeth Class Maldonado, Gregory Allen, James Williams, Jim Marino, Joseph Myman, Josephs Dalfus, Gaddafi El Karda, Khalil Salam, Kayasha Hewling, Crystal Dillard, Leroy Fisher, Melissa Young, Michael Shipp, Nadia McGill, Nafisa Bizo, Olivia Scanlon, Pamia Coleman, Quentin Ellison, Rebecca Cordes Chan, Safangela Hill, Sarah Stevenson, and Shannon Wink.
Thank you, Vice Chair Bass. I now recognize you, Vice Chair Bass, for a motion on the nominations.
I move that this committee recommendation.
Recommend a vote.
Okay, I'm sorry. I move that this committee recommend the following nominees to the full council.
Thank you.
And we already read the names.
Yes, we read
So
all the
that's a
votes.
motion. Can we get a second?
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded that nominees be recommended to the full council, commission. All those present in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it. The motion carries. So the next step in this process is for these recommendations to be introduced by resolution before the full city council. Upon adoption by council, the nominations will then be forwarded to the mayor, who will appoint members of the commission in accordance with the city charter. We thank all applicants who participated in this process for their time, commitment, and willingness to serve Philadelphia. Your interest and engagement is a testament of the importance of this work in the future of our public spaces. There being no further business before the committee today, this concludes the business of the Committee on Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs. Thank you all so much for your attendance.
Good job, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.